Hi, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about what happens when you're really sick. You are at the beginning of your journey, or you're super symptomatic. You have tens of multiple symptoms, maybe hundreds of symptoms. You are severely compromised, non-functional. You're in a total setback, a total flare. You're basically holding on second to second. How can you, this is really hard, because how can you do any of the emotional work? Yeah, you can do some of the physical work. You can eat healthy, you can do your enemas, you can do all the things that I recommend here on this channel, and you can go watch those videos. But what can you do mentally? Because we know the real gold in healing comes from, your mental, healing yourself mentally, healing yourself with your own mind and the power of visualization. When you're in this situation and you're super symptomatic and you're super non-functional and compromised, it's almost impossible to visualize being healthy. It's almost impossible to see yourself in the end, to imagine what it feels like to feel good, to, to manifest basically health. Because manifest is all about the feeling. And if you can't conjure up the feeling because you are so symptomatic, then it won't work. And that's why it's not working for you. So what can you do? Okay, so I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do right now. The absolute best, bar none, thing that you can do to help yourself in that situation is to stay neutral. What do I mean by this? Most times when we get super symptomatic, when we're in a flare, when things are going really wrong, when we are overstimulated with symptoms, we usually can't get our mind to stay neutral, okay, and look at it from an observer's perspective as opposed to being in the story. So what happens is we unravel emotionally and mentally and spiritually, and it's a huge problem. It's what keeps people stuck. So the way that you unravel emotionally and spiritually and mentally is because you start to feel desperate. You start to feel hopeless. You start to slide back emotionally. You cry. You may scream at God. You start to what if. You start to future project all the negative things that are going to come. And what if I'm still sick on this date and this date? And how am I going to cope? And how am I going to feed my family and raise my kids? And what's to become of me? And how am I going to end up? And we start to project this living movie, this nightmare, this hell on earth. We start to project it into our future and create exactly what we don't want to be creating. Because we're scared, because we're living in fear, because we're desperate, because we're hopeless, we're defeated, we feel beaten up, and we just want help. We need relief. We need something. So, right? Has this ever happened to you? So the first step, and I know you can't manifest health you can't go from 0 to 100 and be like, okay, I'm going to be healthy, and like start to embody that healthy identity, that healed identity. It's almost impossible if you can't feel it. But you can take the first step, which is being neutral. And that is when we disengage from our stories, from all the bad things that are happening and have happened to us in the past, from that victim story. We disengage from it. We disengage from all the fear and the future projections and these terrible scenarios that we play out. We have to disengage from the hopelessness and the helplessness and the I'm never going to heal, right? Then I'm never going to heal story that we tell ourselves. The victim story, the help me story, all of these different stories that we play. And I'm not saying we're doing it consciously, like we are trying to survive, and it's harrowing sometimes with these symptoms. But what we need to step back is be neutral and say, this too shall pass. This is just a symptom. It's just a sensation. It's a sensation in my body. I don't like this sensation. It's not a great sensation. But don't attach it to any past story, right? Don't attach it to the past events. that have led up to this. Don't ravel it up in that story and get caught up in that emotionally or mentally. Don't ravel these symptoms up into your future projections and stories about all the bad things that could happen and what if and what if and what if, catastrophizing. So we stay in the now and we say this is just a sensation and it will pass. And we almost go out of body and look at it as an observer. And I know this is difficult, but we just stay neutral to it in the fact that we're like, okay, you're there, but I'm not going to let you pull me in emotionally. You've pulled me in physically. I can feel you physically. I'm feeling it physically, but I'm not going to go there with you emotionally. I'm not going to go there with my mind with you. I'm going to stay here with my mind. And where you need to stay with your mind is like, this is neutral. And I know it's very hard to do that because you're like, I hate this more than anything, but that's getting caught up in a story. We just are noticing the sensation and we're saying to ourselves, I see you, I hear you. And we can maybe ask it, what are you trying to tell me in this moment? What emotion are you feeling in this moment? How can I help you? How can I be with you? How can I stay with you? How can I love you through this? Ask yourself, how can I love you through this moment? How can I be kinder to you in this moment? How can I support you to stay neutral in this moment? Right? So we're talking on a different level now. Now we're showing love and compassion and support and empathy to ourselves, to our inner self that needs that love and support and empathy and compassion, right? And instead we're saying, I'm going to stay here as a neutral observer to this. I'm going to be neutral. I'm not going to get dragged down. I want to stay here. How can I help you stay here? To just be aware of what's happening, to realize I don't like it, to realize this isn't great, but to not get caught up in the stories of the past or the stories and the fears of the future, and to not just unravel in the present and react to the symptoms. So basically you're trying not to react to the symptoms. Yes, I see you. There's no point in reacting because they're there, whether you react and scream and cry and fall down and lose it, or whether you stay neutral, breathe, be positive, carry on your day. They're there. And they're more likely going to be able to settle, come back to a tolerable level. They're more likely to be able to dissolve if you're in the mindset of being kind and compassionate and loving and staying in the present moment. It's when we let ourselves unravel, they can get worse and worse to the point of, hysteria and just feeling like there's absolutely no hope. And that's where we don't want to let our mind go. So being neutral is one of the key things that you can start to do. Because once you can be neutral, just not react to the symptoms, not react mentally and emotionally, still feel the feelings, yes. Feel the sensations, yes. Feel your emotions, yes, but not react to them, not overreact to them, not spiral to them. Stay grounded in the present. Feel what's in the present here in front of you with kindness, compassion, love, understanding to yourself in the moment. You are going to be much better off. And when you can master neutrality, you will then be able to start in those moments, you will then be able to start future, shifting your identity in those moments and creating a healed version of yourself and still seeing the healed version of yourself in those moments. So eventually you will be able to get up to mastering staying in that healed identity. But I know that when you're critically, seriously ill and symptomatic, it's hard. And so you have to start somewhere. And I really do believe that the magic and the key is to start with neutrality. And we can grow from there. So you can always build on neutrality, right? So we just want to stop. We just want to stop the spiral. We want to stop the downslide. We want to stop the unraveling emotionally and physically and reacting to what's in front of us. And we want to just stay neutral, stay grounded, stay positive, right? That is where the power, that is where your power lies. And that's maybe all you have in that moment, but it's enough. And if you can master that and do that enough times, then you can take it a step further. And especially on good days, you can then practice creating your healed future identity, which I will have more videos about, and I already do have videos, so you can go check that out in some of my playlists. But for now, if you're in critical condition, if you're overwhelmed by your symptoms, practice neutrality. And I wish you good luck. I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.